Welcome to Sci-Fi Show, where humans rise, aliens fall, and every story pushes the edge of imagination. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join our growing sci-fi community. The Galaxy Council Chamber hung suspended in the void between stars, a crystalline monument to 10,000 years of peace. Ambassador Threlkax's tentacles coiled tight as the holographic display showed Earth that blue marble, teeming with chaos. "They've discovered faster-than-light travel," he announced, his translator converting disgust into sterile diplomatic language. Around the circular table, representatives from 47 species shifted uncomfortably. The Zarkon Empire's envoy, a creature of chitinous plates and cold intelligence, rose slowly. "These humans are dangerous. They make war on themselves. They poison their own world. They must be contained." The council murmured agreement. Earth had been observed for centuries, deemed too fractured, too violent for contact. Now they had the keys to the galaxy, and nobody wanted them here. The vote came swiftly. When the Zarkon fleet assembled at Earth's doorstep 3 months later, the council chose silence. Diplomatic channels went dark. Humanity's desperate transmissions, requesting parley, echoed into nothing. On the observation screens in the council chamber, they watched Earth's skies fill with ships that blotted out the sun. Threlkax justified it to himself. They were maintaining neutrality, preventing galactic war, protecting the greater good. Below, in cities that had stood for millennia, children looked up and saw fire descending. New York vaporized in an instant. Tokyo followed. Mumbai became glass. The death toll climbed past hundreds of millions in the first hour, and the council delegates sipped their beverages and filed reports. Earth's militaries fired everything they had, missiles designed to destroy each other, now aimed at the heavens. Most burned up harmlessly against alien shields. Fighter jets disintegrated like moths in a furnace. The world's governments tried to coordinate, but communication satellites were ash and fiber optic lines melted. In underground bunkers, generals wept. In the streets, people ran with nowhere to go. The Zarkon broadcasts a simple message in every human language: surrender, dismantle your FTL capability, accept occupation, or face extinction. Humanity's response came from 1,000 underground resistance cells forming simultaneously, from hackers in Seoul, engineers in Berlin, soldiers in Lagos, scientists in Sao Paulo, all thinking the same defiant thought: if we're going to die, we're taking you with us. The council expected Earth to fall within a week. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Every nuclear power on Earth simultaneously shared their launch codes. Every tech company opened their patents. Every nation's military integrated command structure. Ancient enemies India and Pakistan, Israel and Iran, the United States and China dissolved borders in their war rooms. A unified Earth government formed not through diplomacy, but through pure survival instinct, and it happened in 72 hours. On the council observation feeds, Threlkax watched humans doing the impossible, and a cold fear touched his ancient heart. In orbit above Earth, scavenger teams crawled over damaged Zarkon fighters, pulling them apart with welding torches and desperate ingenuity, learning as they bled. 3 months into the occupation, the first Zarkon cruiser went dark. Its AI systems crashed, infected by code that should have been incompatible with their quantum networks. Human programmers had made it compatible by sheer stubbornness and 70 consecutive hours without sleep. The ship drifted, then detonated as its reactor destabilized. The Zarkon fleet admiral dismissed it as malfunction, until 7 more cruisers suffered identical fates. Humanity was learning to fight with captured weapons, adapting alien technology faster than any species in recorded galactic history. In the asteroid belt, using salvaged materials and zero-gravity 3D printing, humans built their first warship. It was ugly, asymmetrical, held together with welds that would make any proper engineer weep, and it worked. The council's emergency session devolved into chaos. "They're adapting," one delegate hissed. "They're supposed to be primitive," another protested. On screen, human guerrilla forces hid Zarkon supply lines on Earth's surface, using tactics learned from centuries of fighting themselves. Zarkon telepaths used to reading emotional species like children found human minds bewilderingly contradictory, capable of holding terror and hope and fury and calculation simultaneously. A Zarkon command post in occupied Australia fell when humans hacked their communication grid and fed false orders. The admiral in charge was recalled in disgrace. The Zarkon Empire requested council intervention. The council, having watched Earth's children burn, now debated whether genocide had been strategically inadvisable. Earth's moon became a fortress. Hidden construction bays, carved into craters, produced ships at impossible speed. Human engineers didn't follow proper protocols, they tested in production. Iterated through failure, built things that shouldn't work, but did. The Earth Defense Accords fleet numbered 50 ships by month 6, all of them strange hybrids of human desperation and stolen Zarkon tech. Their first major engagement came at Mars. 30 human ships against a Zarkon battle group of 12. The humans should have been slaughtered. Instead, they used the planet's gravity well, its dust storms, fighting like cornered animals, with the cunning of apex predators. 5 human ships survived. No Zarkon vessels did. The footage spread across the galaxy before the Council could suppress it. Member species started asking uncomfortable questions. If Earth could fight back, why hadn't the Council helped? Protests erupted on the Council homeworld, small at first, then growing. Young members of peaceful civilizations watched human resistance footage and felt something their cultures had forgotten. Righteous fury. The Council issued statements about non-interference and galactic stability. Nobody was buying it. Meanwhile, humanitarian aid started arriving at Earth through unofficial channels, medical supplies, intelligence, even weapons from species that officially remained neutral. A Thelonian merchant captain delivered a cargo of plasma conduits and said simply, "My grandchildren were watching. They shamed me into this." Humanity wasn't alone anymore, but it remembered exactly who had abandoned them first. The Zarkon Empire made its fatal mistake on month 9. Frustrated by human resistance, they deployed an antimatter warhead over Geneva, where Earth's provisional government had relocated. The city and everything within 80 kilometers became a crater glowing with residual radiation. 40 million dead in an eye blink. The Council received the casualty reports and prepared carefully worded condemnations. Then Earth's response arrived, not words, but action. Every human ship, every weapon system, every soldier on every front received the same 3-word order: Soul Vengeance Protocol. The gloves came off. Humanity stopped trying to survive and started trying to win. The Earth fleet, now numbering over 200 ships, punched through the Zarkon border defenses using tactics that made no tactical sense until they worked. Human pilots flew suicide runs, not out of fanaticism, but cold calculation. Their AI co-pilots ensuring their sacrifices counted. Human hackers, interfacing directly with quantum networks through neural implants that burned out their brains after hours of use. Crashed entire Zarkon battle groups. Soldiers augmented with alien biotech they barely understood tore through Zarkon ground forces with savage efficiency. The Council watched in horror as humanity demonstrated what happens when a species learns warfare through 10,000 years of practicing on themselves, then finally finds a common enemy. Zarkon Prime, the Empire's homeworld, was supposed to be impregnable, defended by 3 fleet groups and a planetary shield that had never been breached. Humanity's fleet arrived with a gift from their new allies: shield disruptor technology banned by Council law. They also arrived with a declaration of intent, broadcast on every frequency. You attacked our homes. You killed our children. You thought we would break. Watch carefully. The battle lasted 18 hours. Human ships coordinated with AI precision, exploiting every gap, accepting catastrophic losses to create openings. When the shields fell, humanity showed mercy. They demanded surrender. When the Zarkon refused, humanity showed the galaxy what human mercy looked like when it runs out. The capital city survived, barely. The military command structure didn't. In the Council chamber, Threlkax watched Zarkon Prime's surrender and felt his civilization's carefully maintained moral superiority crumble. Earth's new ambassador, former combat pilot, missing an arm and bearing scars that told stories of horror, survived to address the Council for the first time. She didn't use diplomatic language. We asked for help. You watched us burn. We asked for mediation. You chose neutrality in the face of genocide. We're here now, and we'll be staying. Not because we want your approval, but because we've earned our place, with blood you didn't value enough to defend. The galaxy just learned what happens when you leave humans with nothing left to lose. The Council granted Earth full membership, establishing humanity as a recognized galactic power, with all accompanying rights and protections. The vote was unanimous. It had 2 B-50 human warships surrounded the Council station. A polite reminder that humanity no longer needed permission. Threlkax drafted the official statement welcoming Earth to the galactic community, each word tasting like ash. He included carefully researched phrases about humanity's resilience and courage, never mentioning that the Council had been content to let them die. The historical record would note Earth's miraculous resistance. It would quietly omit the Council's complicity. But humans, it turned out, were excellent record keepers. 5 years later, Earth had become the galaxy's third largest military power and its fastest growing economy. Human adaptability, that chaos the Council had feared, became their greatest asset. They innovated constantly, collaborated promiscuously, and remembered everything. The Zarkon Empire existed as a vassal state under human oversight, paying reparations for 3 generations. Other species came to Earth, seeking alliances, technology exchanges, cultural partnerships. They came because humanity forgave, eventually, but never forgot. In council chambers, Earth's delegation sat quietly, voted carefully, and made their positions known, with devastating clarity when necessary. They had learned diplomacy the hard way by surviving without it. The attack on Earth became the galaxy's defining shame, taught to young aliens as a cautionary tale about moral cowardice. Monuments on 47 worlds commemorated the children of Earth who died while the galaxy watched. Human philosophers debated whether their species would have helped others in similar circumstances. The honest ones admitted they didn't know, but they knew what had been done to them. Earth rebuilt its cities, stronger than before, but kept the ruins of Geneva as a memorial. Above it, carved in stone, visible from orbit, a single sentence in every known language: never again. Not to anyone. Threlkax retired now. Sometimes accessed the archived footage from those first S-Earths, desperate transmissions, asking for help that never came. He had lived for 800 years, and would live 800 more. Plenty of time to regret. The galaxy had learned humanity was dangerous. Yes, but not in the way they'd feared. Humans were dangerous because they survived, adapted, and built alliances with those willing to stand with them. They were dangerous because they looked at a galaxy that had abandoned them and chose not revenge, but justice. They were dangerous because they remembered every lesson their suffering had taught them. And they had become the very thing the Council had needed them to be, all along. Not perfect, not peaceful, but present when it mattered. Earth stood now as the galaxy's conscience. Forged in fire the Council had refused to extinguish. And in his crystalline chamber, Threlkax understood that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology, or their ferocity. It was that they had learned to unite under impossible circumstances. While species who'd forgotten how to struggle could only watch in horror at what struggle required.